Hello boys and girls. Well, I'm really excited to share one of my favourite books with you on this lovely World Book Day. I'm going to give you a few clues to see if you can guess which story I'm going to read. My characters, one's red and one's blue, but they're not really allowed to be friends. And it's by one of my favourite children's authors, Julia Donaldson. Can anybody guess what it is? Did you get it? It's The Smeds and the Schmoes. And it's illustrated by another one of my favourite illustrators, Axel Schäfler. I hope you like some of my characters who are out of some stories that are going to join us. The Smeds and the Schmoes. On a lobular lake on a far-off planet, there lived a young Smed, and her name was Janet. Not far away on a humblety hill there lived a young Schmoo by the name of Bill. Janet, like all the Smeds, was red, and this is what her grandfather said. Never play with the Schmoes. They sleep in holes, they wear strange shoes, they jump about like kangaroos. Never play with those Schmoes. Bill, like all the other Schmoes, was blue, and these were the words of Grandmother Schmoo. Never play with those Smeds. They have strange hair upon their heads. They sleep in funny things called beds. Never play with those Schmeds. The Smeds, like nothing better, been splashing about getting wetter and wetter. But Janet grew bored with this watery play, and early one morning she tiptoed away. The Schmoes jumped about on their humblety hill. They bounced up and down and never stood still. But Bill was beginning to think, this is boring. So early one morning he set off exploring. Janet met Bill in the Werpula Wood, where the trockles grew tall and the glompom smelled good. The two rubbed antennae and played all day long. She told him a story. He sang her a song. Then they climbed to the top of the gerbary coot and nibbled its juicy and jellyful fruit. See them there. Poor Janet and Bill. Till who should disturb them but Grandfather Schmed? Shaking his fist, he angrily said, Never play with a Schmoo. They're such a nasty shade of blue. For the 100th time I say to you, never play with a Schmoo. Grandmother Schmoo was close behind, and this is how she spoke her mind. Never play with a Schmed. They're such a dreadful shade of red. I'll say it again like I've always said. Never play with a Schmed. Years went by on the far-off planet. Janet missed Bill, and Bill missed Janet. But off they crept wherever they could, to sing and play in the Werpula Wood. The two of them grew and decided to wed. But what do you think their grandparents said? Never marry a Schmoo. They're a beastly bunch. They're a crazy crew. They drink black tea. They eat green stew. Never marry a Schmoo. Never marry a Smed, my dearest child, you're off your head. They drink pink milk, they eat brown bread. Never marry a Schmed. Oh dear. Janet and Bill stole out that night, while the families slept and the scroom shone bright. They clambered into the Smed's red rocket. Grandfather Smed had forgotten to lock it. Bill pressed the button and Janet steered. When their families woke, they'd both disappeared. The Smed said, your Bill must have stolen our Janet and taken her off to a distant planet. The Schmoo said, it's Janet who's stolen our Bill and lured her away from the humblety hill. The Schmoos climbed into their rocket of blue, and they said to the Smeds, you'd better come too." Suspicious and scowling, they soared into space, till they reached planet Vundrum, a dry, dusty place. The Vums had long arms which they waved in the air, but they didn't have news of the runaway pair. The next stop was Lurgelstrop, covered in roses, and watered by beasts with small eyes and long noses. They touched down in Grumbletosh, coated in grime. They searched planet Glurch and found nothing but slime. One morning the Smoos found they'd run out of tea, so the Smeds shared their milk, which was pink as could be. Then Grandfather Smed said, "My hair needs a trim," and Grandmother Shmoo kindly cut it for him. They landed on Shkloop, where the Skloopies wore kilts, then flew to Klaboo, where the Klabs walked on stilts. They searched all year long, then they searched longer still, but they didn't find Jonnet, and they didn't find Bill. "Alas," said the Smoos, and the Smeds said, "Alack, we've failed in our quest, we'd better turn back." So they turned and flew home to their very own planet, and far down below them they saw Bill and Janet! The rocket touched down and they ran into the wood, where the trockles grew tall and the grompoms smelled good. And there in the glade by the rocket of red were the runaway Smoo and the runaway Smed. They'd got lost and flown home again, only to find that all of the others had left them behind. There was joy, jam and jumping. Then Janet said, "Maybe you'd like to make friends with our dear little baby." "A baby? A red one? A blue one?" But no. Oh, my goodness. What's the baby going to be? Oh! The baby was purple from head to toe. They all hugged the Smoo Smed, their new baby brother, and Grandpa and Gran even hugged one another. They laughed and they splashed and they danced with delight, and they played with that baby from morning till night. They made him a rattle, they made him a flute, they fed him the fruit of a gerberry fruit. Then they sang by the light of the silvery scroon, and you can sing too if you make up a tune. Play with the Smeds and play with the Smoos, play with whichever friends you choose, then close your eyes and while you snooze, dream of the Smeds and dream of the Schmoos. Well, I hope you enjoyed that story tonight.